Okay, in this example, we're asked to do a binomial problem. It says 30% of bicycles stolen in a certain country are recovered. Find the probability that in a sample of 7, exactly 2 out of the 7 are recovered. So this is a binomial problem, and in order for us to do a binomial problem, we need to know the value of p, we need to know the value of n, and we also need to know the value of x. P is the easiest one to find out because it's always going to be the percentage, the probability of something occurring. So in this case, we're looking at 30%, so P is 0.3. N is always the total number that we have in our sample, and here we have 7 totally randomly selected cases. That's our sample size. And x is what we're trying to find the probability of. So in this problem, since we're trying to find the probability that exactly 2 out of the 7 were recovered, then that means that 2 represents our x. So we're just going to go to StatCrunch really quick. Okay, just waiting for this to load. So once we're in StatCrunch, we want to go to the binomial calculator because this is a binomial problem. So go to Stat, Calculators, and Binomial. So here we have all the different options that we can type in for n, p, and the value of x. So we saw from this problem that n is 7 because we have a sample of 7. P is 0.3 because it was 30%. And we want the value that is exactly equal to 2. It didn't say greater than or less than. It just said equal to 2, and then we compute. So we have the value right here, 0.31765, and so on. So when you go back to the homework, it tells us to round to 3 decimal places. So let's see what the value was again. Where's the StatCrunch? Here it is. So to 3 decimal places, this would be 0.318. And that's it. Now problem number 18 is very similar, but this one we have a little bit different. It's pretty much the same type of problem. It says what's the probability that exactly 14 out of 50 will vote for this candidate, and we're going to have the exact same thing. Our value of P is 0.55, our value for N is 50, and our value for X is 14. So if they want us to put it in the form of N px, as it says over here, we start with our value of n, which is 50. Then our value for p is 0.55. And then finally, our value for x is exactly 14 out of the 50 that we're looking at. Okay. So when we actually do the calculations, well, this one's going to be pretty much the same thing. We find the value of n and p and x, and we just repeat that as well as we have it here. So let's just do this also real quick just to take a look at it. So we have 25, and then the value of p is 0.93. And then the value for x is 17. Okay, so it's the same type of questions as we've been doing before. Okay, so I hope that this helps you answer this problem a bit easier.